Welcome to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast. Use the power of discovering new habits to create success in all areas of life. Body, fitness and nutrition, being, spirituality, passion and purpose, balance, marriage, kids and relationships, business, marketing, sales, leadership and systems. Transform your life by learning how habits work. And now your host, a husband, father, entrepreneur, trainer, coach, and warrior, Jesse Ewell.
Welcome back to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Jesse Ewell, and today we're going to be talking about the habit of untapped potential. How many times in your life have you used this, I haven't reached my full potential, I feel like I'm stuck? So last week, I interviewed a gentleman from one of my coaching programs and asked him a simple question. Why do you want to do coaching? And he said, I feel like I haven't tapped into my full potential. And as I sat there for a second and thought about this, I said, what exactly do you mean by this full potential? And he's like, man, I feel like I should be in a different place in my life than I currently in. And he went on to explain several, things that had went on in his life, from, being a drug addict for, a period of like 8 years, and him really feeling like he was like 8 years behind where he should be. And, it got me to think about how often in life do we feel like we have this untapped potential. I talk to so many people every single week that it's like, man, I just feel like I haven't reached my potential in my fitness. I feel like I haven't reached my potential with myself and who I know I could be. I feel like I haven't reached my potential in my business. But as I continue to talk to this man, he's like, listen, man, I feel like no one ever taught me how to be a man, how to show up as a man. And this man has kids. And one of the things that came up for him is like, hey, no, I feel like no one has shown me how to show up as a married man. And so inside of this, the problem is not knowing how to show up as a man, as a father, as a husband, and then as a leader. And so what happens in this place is we feel like we haven't reached our potential because we're not showing up in ways that we know we can, yet we haven't exactly defined what it is to be a man in the modern day as a husband, father, and leader. And so then we live in the story of, hey, I feel like I'm not where I should be. And this may be relevant to you because lots of men and married men and women that I get to interview every single week feel this exact same way. They feel like they have this untapped potential. They feel like they're not where they should be. And so they're stuck. They're stuck in one or multiple areas. And I'll kind of draw this out. A lot of people I talk to tend to focus on one area. They tend to focus on the area that's the most natural to them. And for a lot of, male entrepreneurs, the area that's most natural to them is oftentimes body, or oftentimes business, or both. And then women tend to be, depending on where they're at, if they're an entrepreneur, obviously it's going to be a little more business. If they're not entrepreneurs and they're CEO moms, then it's going to be more of their natural place is their kids. And that's where we kind of hide. Men tend to hide behind their business, behind their body. Women tend to hide behind their kids, especially CEO moms. And maybe this is you, and maybe this is resonating with you, but if you ignore one area and just focus on the one that comes natural, this is kind of how this lays out. You ignore your marriage and you focus on your business. You ignore your marriage and you focus on your kids. You ignore yourself and working on yourself. Then you're always trying to help others and fix others. Meanwhile, your marriage is becoming more and more disconnected, or maybe you struggle. People who often struggle with their weight often focus on helping others, often focus on their business, and they completely neglect or this area of their body. So what is this full potential? Well, potential is defined as like, hey, this ability that we all have, and I believe we all have an infinite amount of potential, but we all have it. So none of us are really lacking it if we all have this potential. We all have the ability to have this potential, but how do we actually access the ability to get this potential? And I'll dive into this later, but like, think about this. No one actually taught us, other than our own parents or grandparents, how to be a married couple. And then think about it. Even if there was a place that we learned, we learned 20, 30 years ago. And so by simply mirroring exactly what we learned 20 or 30 years ago, it doesn't necessarily work in a modern day where you have so much access to other things. You have access to real time anything. You can learn anything that you want online. But if you look up the blueprint, if you look up how to be a husband, how to be a father, how to be a leader, there is no real blueprint. And that the truth is like, we all struggle in some area of life, but many of us struggle in marriage, and it's not easy. And at times it feels easier to give up on marriage than actually work through the issues. But if you give up, which many people do, and it's more common in today's age to give up, you carry the same exact problems with you to the next relationship. And this is why we created the 14-day marriage upgrade. It was to give you a blueprint on marriage. It was to give you a blueprint on what worked in our marriage, to begin changing your habits to support you in having the marriage that you actually want. What we found is these certain habits begin to get you the relationship that you want. They begin to change your energy. They begin to change your environment. They begin to change how you show up inside of your marriage, because here's what I've found. If you don't change your habits in marriage, oftentimes you end up exactly where you don't want to be. Think about it. Even if you don't change your habits in your body, there's not much change actually happening. If we don't change how we eat, if we don't change how we work out, if we don't change the fact that we move, we don't change anything inside of our body. This also goes for business. If we don't change up marketing, if we don't change up our messaging, if we don't change up how we show up at work as a leader, our business does not change. And so in order to establish this change in our habits, to get out of this habit loop of what we don't want, to begin to tap into this potential, we're going to have to take some type of action. And the action that we're going to take is we're going to begin to work through this 4-step process of just changing our habits, and specifically inside of our marriage. So think about this. By you taking this action today, step 1 is just to get clear on where you are today inside of your habits in marriage. If you looked at your communication, your connection, sex, intimacy, co-creation, parenting, spirituality, take out a piece of paper and just simply make a list of current habits in these areas, in, on, and around your marriage. I believe fitness is as much as important part of marriage as communication, because if your energy is off, it's going to transfer over to your marriage. Step 3, are your current habits working or not working in your marriage? Is your communication working or not working? Is sex and intimacy working or not working? Is you creating with your spouse, co-creating, working or not working? Is your spirituality working or not working? Is your parenting working or not working? And then, are these areas getting you the results that you want? This is step 4, yes or no, and then just simply explain why. Why is it not working? Because without identifying this and getting clear on the facts of this, you're going to be stuck in feelings and emotions, and all of your decisions, all of your habits are going to be driven off those. So in order for us to change your habits, you're going to have to get clear on what's working or not working, and then begin to change those. And at this point, this is where people begin to step inside of our 14-day marriage upgrade to begin taking their marriage to the next level. But it begins with you making a decision to change your habits inside of your marriage. So if you guys are looking to do this, we are actually launching this program a few weeks ago, and we're actually signing up. If you want to sign up for this, you can check out the link in the show notes. We would love to have you and get you on your way to upgrading your marriage in less than 14 days. If you guys are looking to connect further with a group of like-minded people, join myself and so many others in the Habit-Based Lifestyle Secrets group on Facebook, where I'll be dropping daily habits to help you live to your full potential. If you want to be one of our next case studies and begin living this habit-based lifestyle, feel free to reach out to me, Jesse at habitbasedlifestyle.com. Until next episode, have a great day.